Did everybody bring their minutes with them tonight? Okay, is it on yet?
It's not that complicated.
And I didn't bring extra copies either, so we're on. I'd like to call our Darien Intergovernmental Committee meeting together to order, and just have us go around and announce who's here this evening. Bob, do you want to start?
Bob Rizitko, Darien 61.
Claudia Manley, Darien 61.
Ray Jablonski, Darien Park District.
Bob Klein, Darien Woodbridge Fire Protection District.
Kathleen Weaver, Mayor.
Halil Avci, City Alderman.
Erin Kupika, Indian Prairie Public Library.
Rich Brandeis, Cass District 63.
Thank you all for coming this evening. And let's go right to the approval of the minutes of our November 13th meeting, November 13th, 2012, that is. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And
I'll second.
And seconded by Ray Jablonski, moved by Robert Klein. Did anybody have any comments regarding the minutes that I'd like to make note of? Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you. Let's move on to our cooperative initiatives, the review of the ongoing initiatives. Halil, you wanted to add these items, but first let me go over a couple of the items that we talked about at the last meeting, and Claire Bongiovanni has organized a non-for-profit mixer for February 26th over at Carmelite Carefree Village. And all are invited. The public is invited. All of us are invited. It's an opportunity for networking with all these organizations to see how they can work together. Claire just thought, the idea of the Carmelite Carefree Village and some of the organizations, how could they work together and help each other in different ways? So all of us are invited to that too.
Except you and I, we have budget meeting that night.
Yeah, so we personally won't be able to be there, but if you can be there, please do. That I believe it is 7 to 9 at Carmelite Carefree Village.
And who's running the meeting?
I would imagine Claire Bongiovanni will be organizing that. That's February 26th. And I know that we had talked about including the non-for-profits in our town hall meeting that we're planning on having sometime in September. We haven't got a date certain yet. We were talking. We did approach District 61, but also Claire has approached a restaurant business in town to see if they would be willing to host it. So because we're going to have this in an evening, it might be a better setting if we did it in one of our local restaurants. So we'll be keeping you posted on that, exactly what date that is. And Claire, unfortunately, is under the weather, so she is not able to be here this evening. So so we were talking about, I believe that the two dates we were talking about in September were the 19th and the 26th for that town hall meeting. So I think we can count on the month of September for sure. The date we're not quite certain about yet. Okay. Ongoing initiatives. Anything else that you'd like to share? I know we all shared something that was going on in all of our different taxing bodies. Anything new going on with all of you?
Well, this is not directly the taxing bodies, but also by way of promoting this, the Cass 63 Foundation for Excellence is partnering with the Hinsdale South Athletic Club, and they're having the Harlem Wizards play basketball March 9th over at the high school, and tickets are on sale, and they're going to have faculty and administrators from both schools play against the Wizards, and some of the students, I think they're raffling off spots for students to play against the Wizards, so it should be a fun event. So those two organizations are sharing the promotion of that.
Okay, so it's District 63. What organization?
The Foundation for Excellence.
Okay, the foundation.
And then the Hinsdale South Athletic Club.
Okay. Now the Wizards, they're not the Globetrotters.
No.
This is the takeoff.
It's a similar organization. The same idea.
Very clever. Very clever. So that's happening March 9th. Anything else going on?
Well, first of all, for the Women's Club, if you check the website, there's a lot of information on that because upcoming is the clothing resale, which is one of our big fundraisers. And the registration will be on February 12th or February 23rd, and the date of the sale will be Saturday, March 9th. So, and you can get all the information, like I said, on the website. The other thing is that we also have the big art and poetry fair, and that's one of our big community functions. And there's no cost to register, but you need to register by February 8th. And the registration forms are on our website. And the actual art fair is February 24th. And if you've never been to it, it's, it has from little kids to high school kids, and it's amazing what the kids do. And then the winners, they take their artwork and then they hang it in the Indian Prairie Library for a month. So that's a nice event. And the next thing that we have with the Women's Club is this is the time for scholarships. So if high school seniors, these are two service scholarships of $1,000 each, and then that's for high school seniors. And then the Fine Arts Scholarship, which is grades 7 through 12, and those are $350 each. There's two of them. And the applications are on our website. So that goes out to all community students.
Okay, so this is all the Women's Club.
This is
events.
all Women's Club.
Okay.
Right. And then, sorry.
I know you wear two hats, Marion, so go ahead.
Sorry, I'm switching. Now, the library, also, there's going to be if you missed that Darien presentation by the 4 authors who did the book, Images of America, Darien, they're going to come to the library again on April 14th. So you can, and that's the Sunday afternoon. So if you've heard about it and missed it, they'll be speaking again on Sunday afternoon. And then the Chan concert will be on April 7th, and that's going to be an afternoon at the Opera, and one of our local sopranos, she's in college now, Anna Valcour, will be singing, and I don't know who else she's singing with, but anyway, she's local, and she's wonderful. We heard her sing at the Women's Club, and she's going to be performing at the library on April 7th. And my last thing. And the last thing is that story time sign-up will begin on February 12th at 9 a.m., and you can do it now online. So if you're interested in story time, that's going to be coming up. I think that's it.
That's it for the Women's
Thank
Club
you.
and the library.
Thank you for allowing us to publicize that.
No, this is great. This is great. Ray, you haven't got anything going on?
No updates.
Yeah, your hoedown's gone. Your
Be a little cold for the hoedown at a community park.
and all the other events. District 61 have anything coming up?
Not in the near future.
Okay. Okay.
Nice and quiet.
Yeah, we like it like that. Anything going on with you guys?
Absolutely. Of course, we have our chief here now, Dave Lambright. And he's
Welcome.
He's a lot more eloquent than I. But there's 2 incidents that have happened in the past month that are good. One is a donation of an ambulance to Page County, and the other is the the fire department, our fire protection district, had the largest number of scholarships given away in the state of Illinois for a fire protection district. I believe, unless it was all fire districts, I'm not sure. All fire departments. Which to me, this is the 2nd year in a row, and I know when I got involved with the fire department, there was a rumor here that we couldn't promote from within too well because, well, if we can't promote from within, there's something wrong with our fire department. And we have, Dave came up through the ranks, and we just have a new deputy chief. And that has just been assigned just the other day. So I'm really proud of the way the district has worked. And they also, as you know, 0% interest or 0% increases in pay for 3 years. I mean, these are all positive, but this is working with the community. And this is what I had hoped that we can do here, too. I think that's the most important thing we can do. And there's too darn many egos in this world. And, oh, that's my territory, this is your territory. And we've got to get through that somehow in this committee and also what goes on in Darien. And so when we have things to do, we just have to have openness and being able to say what we think without taking personal offense. So I'm hoping, like tonight, I plan to bring up the DYC.
Yes, that's on the
Yeah.
agenda.
And I know it is, and I appreciate that, putting it on the agenda. But, so anyway, the fire department is doing well. A lot of things I'm proud of. And we also have a new fire truck. And how many new ambulances? 2 new ambulances. And so we're fully covered. And when we're strapped for funds, like all other government agencies, and we were for a long time, because we put up a building without a referendum. Not that we didn't want a referendum. Don't get me wrong. But at the time, it was just impossible. So needless to say, we've done this all from within, and we've had to do all the funding from within and come up with a way of having these additional funds. And I'm proud to say, just like the $5,000 for the ambulance, which is what it's worth, you can always come up with $5,000 or $10,000 to give away. And I think that's what we need to do when we're talking about the community. And that's what I hope to get this message across to people tonight. Because this is our place of living. This is supposedly the home of choice. And this is very, very important that we do this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I understood what you were talking about. You gave an ambulance to the county?
If I may refer it to Dave?
You gave one of your ambulances to them?
One of our older ambulances that the board had surplus. We've been involved with the DuPage County Fire Investigation Task Force for about 15 years, and it's made up of the DuPage Sheriff's Office arson investigators, along with probably close to 100, I don't have the exact numbers, close to 100 firefighters and fire officers that are also state certified fire and arson investigators.
Maybe I should go to that.
We donated the vehicle to them.
Yeah, I know.
The vehicle they were using that is provided to any fire department in the county when they need investigators, simply with a call to our dispatch center.
Oh, okay. So that was.
Send the vehicle out. And the one they were working out of was much older and falling apart, so we donated an ambulance that is surplus to them.
Yeah, we probably should have had you come up to the microphone. Hopefully I know. Hopefully the voice picked up that what you had to say. But thanks for sharing. I was just curious as to what you were doing with that ambulance. So, okay.
So a lot of positive things is what it amounts to.
Yeah. We all have positive things going on. I think we had a nice announcement last night. If you were watching, you know that we did a tax sharing with Walmart to make sure they stayed in Darien, and they're becoming a super Walmart. We did that last year. That deal, all the paperwork finally closed within the last month, thank goodness. That portion of the deal was between Inland and Walmart, and now that's all signed and gone and ready. And just recently, Home Depot, in a kind of a rushed matter, we found out from the Inland, who is the manager over there of that Darien Town Center, was informed by Home Depot that another town was offering them an incentive to come to their town. So we stepped up and we did a similar tax sharing with the Inland Management. I forget the name. I think it's now Retail Properties of America is the new name of the Inland Group. But we did tax sharing with them where we keep the first $500,000, and then each year we give Home Depot, or the Inland, I should say, the $68,000 to help bring down the cost that they had to put in to keep Home Depot. They had to give Home Depot $2 million to stay in town, and then we shared in some of that cost. So, as I said last night, yes, we can look at it in all different ways, but I choose to look at it very positively. We have all these towns trying to take our businesses away, and we have kept 2 of our biggest anchors in town, so I think it was a real positive for us. So when you look around at other towns, I mean, they've got totally vacant shopping centers. Westmont is struggling, Woodridge is struggling, and so we feel very, very good about how we're doing here. So that was the good news we shared last night. So did you have some things?
Yeah, maybe another thing we can mention is, as we all know, in the past, we went to some joint bidding projects, like before the winter came, we had joint purchasing of salt between School District 63 and Park District and the city. And in the past years, we also did similar joint bidding for summer projects, like paving of parking lots and so forth. And we're just now getting ready in the city for our this year's capital improvement projects, including road work and things like that. So if any of your organizations have anything that needs to get done this year, this is probably a good time to let the city know with those.
Actually, I think we already did. If we haven't already done it, we're doing our letting very soon for our roads. Yeah, and if have you gotten on board on that?
Yeah.
Already? Okay. I don't know if the school districts. I forgot to ask Dan before tonight's meeting if any of the other taxing bodies are on board with their bids. So
when we were talking about the potential bids at the Municipal Services Committee meeting about a week or two ago, there was no discussion of other communities, and we haven't really gone out for final bids yet. So I think in the next few weeks, I think this is a good time for it.
Well, it's a funny thing, but I just happen to be in the insurance industry, and somebody in my department said, "Oh, I just got the bid request for the city of Darien, so I know it's happening soon." So if you haven't approached Dan, you better. Okay. Anything else you wanted to share?
No, I'll also just mention another nice thing that a joint project. We used to have this trolley we used to rent out. And last couple of years, instead of trolley, we were using a school bus from Darien, District 61. And I happened to take it again this year, so it was fun, and thank you.
That's the new trolley, huh?
Yeah, that's the new trolley.
Very good.
Trolley sign.
Mayor, you know that I'm
It's
older.
a lot
and
cheaper.
I don't have any children anymore, but how many school districts do we have in the city now?
3. Well, I should say we have 3 elementary and 2 high schools.
Okay. 61 is elementary?
Is elementary? Yes.
Okay.
63 is elementary. 66 is elementary. That includes junior highs, too, by the way, in all 3 of those. And District, 99 and 86 are the high school districts.
Now, are they at this meeting also? I mean, they're not here tonight, but have they been coming?
We have had, no, we haven't had anybody from District 86 in a while. And hopefully, the new
For
superintendent.
86, I actually brought it over to them at a board meeting, and they did put it on the agenda, and they voted not to participate. So
Yeah, well, we need, I think.
I tried.
Okay. I know that there's a lot of people running for the board over there. Yeah, I know.
Well, this is a big concern, because, I mean, we're trying
I was just about to say that the new superintendent of 66 may walk in the door very shortly. He had another meeting going on, but Dr. Tim Arnold, the new superintendent at District 66, hopefully will be joining us on a regular basis.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the schools represent probably about 70% of all the taxing money that's spent in the city.
That's correct.
And so, I mean, to not have them in the intergovernmental, it leaves a big void here.
Yes, we are very lucky to have 63 routinely attend and 61 routinely attend.
And that's neat.
Yeah.
But I think someone's got to go ahead and just say, hey, are you going to join in the city or not? I can say that because I'm not running for election.
I really did go over there over the summer and bring that up to the school board, and since they put it on the agenda the following board meeting, and they just were not interested.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the time, we were talking a lot, the previous meeting, about the high school and a lot of the things going on there, and I felt like I was answering for them. So I thought, well, let's try and get them involved. I tried.
Well, we'll just have to try harder then.
There's method to my madness.
I'll send our hitman here over to get
There's
him.
method to my madness because, I mean, I got involved very strongly to begin with, and then it was just, the representation just fell off.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what are we working with, a half a deck of cards?
Well, they I guess at the high school, they thought that having them on the administrative committee is the one below us, working directly.
With the
Brian
administrators.
Bannon, yeah.
That was enough for them?
I guess.
There is we call it DAPA. The Darien, I I can't remember what it stands for, but all of the administrators from all the taxing bodies get together on I believe, a quarterly basis.
Well, there's a difference between elected officials and staff. I mean, at the fire department, the staff, the chief, they run it. An elected official is an elected official that just oversees the books. Basically, that's
And
what
staff.
And staff.
We're the ones that answer
And
to the
we
residents.
evaluate the staff and et cetera.
Right.
And, but when it comes to working together, it's our staff that do the work. There's the staff that put things forward. As an elected official, I can come up to the fire department and say, hey, we should do so-and-so. If they don't want to do it, I might as well look up the wall. You can't get people to, what is it, that old horse to make them drink or whatever it is?
Staff does not answer to the residents like we do.
Absolutely. But we sure need the staff representation. And I know we were told to begin with to bring staff with us, which is what I did tonight. Because I like that. I like seeing someone here that you can say, what is this, or so-and-so, because they know a lot more than I do. And I said, I really think it's important that we get our people on so that you just feel like you're being represented the right way. And that's just I just want to vent my spleen.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
You don't mean that, do you?
Of course I do. Of course I do. I feel very strongly that we as elected officials set the direction for our organizations.
Accountability.
We are the ones that give the directions to our staff. So that's why I think we are the ones that should be here. I have no problem with staff members being here, but I think we are the ones that have to be the ones that step up and say, no, we got to do it differently. That's what we do in the city. That's who's in charge.
If the staff members were here, wouldn't that then, in essence, duplicate the function of that DAPA committee if they were doing that?
In a way, you're right, Rich. Yeah. What I had hoped was when we initially started that our administrators, our staff people would give us input to bring to these meetings so that we would be sharing information directly from our staffs for the public and with each other. That was the goal initially.
Yeah.
So.
And also, as elected officials, we have a broader perspective and greater interaction with the public. So as ideas generated here, the idea was that then we would take it to our respective administrators and not maybe dictate them, but tell them, here, this is something we're talking about. Is that something we could use? Like this joint bidding thing, we're talking about. Nobody has to join, but at the same time, it helps the organizations. It helps everybody. So if something that you take it and then talk to your administrators and have them participate in those types of activities, it helps everybody. It helps the public. So that was really the reason why we thought the elected officials would be the represented here. And then there was this other group that's already going on, as the mayor said. We didn't want to duplicate that either. And then, if the ideas come from them, then we could discuss it here, and vice versa. That was sort of the initial thought of going with the group that we have. It is unfortunate that we haven't gotten representation, a wider representation from the other school districts and other organizations.
Maybe that town hall meeting that you're planning would be another opportunity to try and draw some of them in.
Well, that's the goal, and I guess that's what we will really be harping on when we do, as we get closer.
Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
With the high school, with 86. I very much want them to be involved in this town hall meeting. It's going to be evening. It's going to be open to the public. I mean, there's no reason for residents to not to come. Typically, the state of the city that I present is usually at the Darien Chamber of Commerce luncheon in the middle of the afternoon. Well, not a whole lot of people can go to that. So. It has typically been televised. We tape it and televise it on our channel, just channel 6, I believe. But that's not good enough as far as we felt. And this town hall meeting, we think, will be the start of a new thing for all of us to band together and display all the good that we have.
If you have a comment.
Yeah.
all of the administrators from all the different taxing bodies, they work together really well. And I don't want anybody to get the impression that they wait for the quarterly meeting to take any action or to get involved, because, I know Stephanie, she's on the phone with everybody.
Yeah, Brian and her are on
Right.
speed dial. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to make the same point that,
Right.
Usually our administrators are so far ahead. They're coming up with ideas. I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. I'm amazed you guys saw that. I mean, they're always out front on those sorts of things. So,
Yeah.
your point is well taken, Bob. But sometimes, if you have administrators that need a prod, need a push, fine. But I would say in many of the cases, they're doing a fantastic job already with that.
Well, now, are you part of that DAPA group? You attend that, so you're getting to meet all of the administrators from all the different taxing bodies. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They all seem to hang around a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Halil, you wanted to potential new initiatives. I know that you added that on the agenda.
Before we get to item 2, there was one other thing I wanted to mention regarding the interaction with the not-for-profits. I wish Claire was here, because she's kind of the one that's spearheading this effort. Before we get to the town hall meeting, I think it would be good if we could get a directory of not-for-profits in the city with maybe a small description of what they do, and then contact points if something should come up. From time to time in the city, as you know, just like yesterday, we get requests from individuals for help who's been down on their luck and needing some additional help. As public entities, we're kind of limited as to what we can do to help the individuals. We kind of tend to help the community and the group as a whole. But when something like that comes up, I think it would be helpful for us to be able to pick up the director and says, you can call these organizations, and here are the contact points, and then you can go with them. So that would be one thing that this group and then the not-for-profits could interact in that fashion, because we really have very different missions as public governmental organizations. We tend to create programs that help the community as a whole instead of individuals. So whereas on the other side, the not-for-profits, it's just the opposite. They are able to help the individuals. In fact, that's a lot of times what they do. So there is some relation between the missions of the two groups, but they don't really overlap. So in that case, I think it would be very helpful for this other group, Claire, to come up with that kind of directory for us to be able to use.
It's not bad. I get mailings all the time. The West Suburban Pantry, that group reached out to you. Yeah, that's a not-for-profit that isn't necessarily right in Darien, but it touches the city of Darien. So we have numbers of not-for-profits. Great idea. I know I can present that to Claire, and she'll have no problem, especially now that she's going to have this mixer on February 26th. She can come up with these.
Well, and I think the more communication the groups have, the more opportunities become available, because, like for Lions Club this year with their huge food pantry, the Women's Club collected shampoos and soaps and things, and then they added that to the food basket. I don't know. I don't know how many years they've done that, but I know this year was a big push. In fact, we had a box at the police department and in community places collecting shampoos and soaps to add to the food basket. Mm-hmm. So, I think that if they're used to talking to one another, more things like that will happen.
Okay, that will be one of our goals, to develop that directory of nonprofits, and then we would share it to the public. We could all put it on our websites and share it with this group here. Okay.
The second item under potential new initiatives, just in light of the tragic events that took place in Connecticut not long ago, we were kind of thinking about. I know there's a lot of work going on in the schools and being prepared for potential emergencies. In fact, just today, by coincidence, we had our Rotary Club meeting at noon, and we had a speaker talking about exactly that. He was a superintendent from Blue Island in South Chicago, and I was talking about the emergency preparedness in their schools, but also he is an actual expert in that area. He has a side business, and he was talking about the type of things that the schools are doing and could be doing, and the interactions that the school have with the police departments in their cities, and how that goes on. We have this is probably a prelude to something else that we're going to be talking about later also. But we have an ongoing relationship with all the schools. Police department have been interacting through DARE and through other organizations, through other mechanisms. In fact, I was just talking with the chief of police yesterday after our city council meeting, and you and I talked also, Mayor, potentially inviting him to one of our meetings later in the future to be able to come and talk to us. So, I guess what I wanted to do at this point is kind of just get us thinking more along, what's going on and what else can we be doing to increase the awareness in the city, not only in schools, but also, Park District has a lot of programs and sports programs with the Sportsplex, the library, same way, and having the library. One thing that came clear today from our presentation today is that there seems to be a lot of focus, and a lot of particular schools are quite aware and prepared for, events that could happen in the school building. But they haven't really given it a lot of thought and maybe as much prepared for things that might be happen outside of the building, like at a sports event, at a football game or something like that. So just to get the ball rolling. And
well, I don't know if you're aware, the library has already taken advantage of Chief Brown. Mm-hmm. They had some issues over there. And Chief Brown had a meeting. I don't know if it was all of the staff, or just Jamie, on preparing the staff for situations that you've had, people that linger in the library too long, things of that nature. So the chief has already done that kind of outreach. So I think that's the same thing that's happening in the schools, and what he did last night with the PTA. Mm-hmm. So I know the chief is more than willing to come to any kind of meetings to talk about that subject.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess I'm offering our police chief to go on duty for a bunch of activities. I don't know if that would be something that the fire protection district would be interested in. I think you guys are pretty well settled. But if the chief could be of any service, please let us know.
And our meeting is open on March 6th, when the Women's Club is having the police chief and the mayor come to speak, and they're speaking at 7:30, and that's always open, and that's at the Darien Swim and Racquet Club on Hinsbrook Drive.
Isn't it Swim and Recreation Club now?
Oh, is it? I was going to say, I think it had a new name.
It's changed its name, huh?
I was going to say Darien Swim Club, but in Hinsbrook, and that our meetings are open. So if anybody wants to come and hear him speak,
Halil, did you have any ideas, or were you just looking for input from the committee on this public safety awareness?
Well, I was just trying to raise awareness, and as you look at things and at your meetings, if there's issues that come up. Think of other organizations represented here and some not represented. If there's something that they could help with, or you can help them, and reach out for help. That's the sort of thing that I was trying to get started, actually.
Okay. Bring forward any ideas as we go along, mm-hmm. and in future meetings. Let's move on to the item 4. And Bob, you wanted to have the DYC subject on our agenda this evening, and I think you're going to what you started to talk about earlier.
Yeah, one of the things at the Rotary Club the other day, we had the DYC representatives come over and give us a little talk on what the problems are and what the problems that they're having. Had to do with a field and putting a dugout. They have a dugout problem with some water, and they were short $15,000 or whatever the dollars were. I don't exactly. That wasn't my focus. It was just hearing some of the things that had to be done in order to get this thing corrected. But one of the statements that he made, and I keep going back to this.
Bob, who was at your meeting? Who was representing the Park District? I mean,
No,
the DYC.
no one's representing the park.
No, I mean the DYC. Who was representing them?
I do not know his name. Do you recall?
I don't recall the name either, but they were newly elected
Yeah.
They take
representatives of
office at the
DYC.
next meeting.
board.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Whole
who
new
it was.
board.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
who
they were
are.
the new
Yeah.
board members.
And they're
Okay.
very, very strapped for funds is what it amounts to. But, in Darien, we always say this is a nice place to live. And the Park District does a fantastic job with the sports and activities in town. But it has a void when it comes to baseball. And some of the people that we have in Darien that want to be with the DYC can't do it because they don't have the fields here. So they're joining the youth clubs of Westmont, Burr Ridge, Woodridge, and they're going outside of the area so that they can go ahead and play baseball. But to fix this field up for $15,000 or $30,000 or whatever it costs, that's not going to solve their problem. They have a problem because they just don't have the funding. And I thought to myself, well, the fire department, we've got people that have volunteered for I don't know how much. When there's a fire, some of them will go over to the house and help board it up, or they'll help put the porch back on or whatever else. If it's a friend, they'll go way out of hand. They'll just keep trying. And I thought, well, we've got some manpower. And I thought, if we do, why don't we have some manpower in the Park District or the other school districts or the police department or whatever else it is? And this is the intergovernmental area that I was looking at. So we talked at the Rotary Club, and we know that our youth has to be off the streets. We know that crime is a problem, and if we don't think drugs are a problem here, we're probably very surprised.
We've got our head in the sand.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So every other organization in town is pretty much tax-funded. The fire department's tax-funded. In fact, I think everybody here is tax-funded, but the youth club is not. And they have a way like the YMCA's, which we don't have a YMCA in there that has scholarships where if you can't afford it, they'll send you there free of charge. But I think that I'd like to propose that the city get the governmental agencies together. The Rotary Club will be happy to go ahead and work with this, work together, and see what we can come up with answers and to solve the problems. I'm not going to say that change the calendar, who's going to be in charge of what. That's not the issue. That's not why I'm here. I just want the openness of the different people to say, yeah, we'd be willing to listen and talk this out and see what we can do to solve this problem. It's a community problem, and I think it's a very important one.
Bob, it's unfortunate you're not privy to a lot of history that's already gone on, and I'll start with myself of what I have tried to do. I was approached 3 years ago by the DYC to help. The city went above and beyond to get involved. We offered our manpower, we offered all of our services to help them build that field. And Lay School was the one that offered to let them use that property for their Field of Dreams, which is right behind Lay School. So I know what the city of Darien has done, ought to offer to the DYC to help them, and that was going to be done with our manpower, and it wasn't going to be costing them a great deal. We were even going to line up the engineers for them because the quotes they were getting were outrageous for the work. So that nothing has transpired since all of that has happened. I have gotten myself in hot water with the Park District and the DYC because I brought both groups together to try to work together. The DYC has got many issues going on. Number one, they haven't got the volunteers like they used to have when my kids were in the program. So my gosh, every parent was a coach and involved in DYC with their children. They haven't got the support that they used to have. So that is waning. They haven't got the dollars because they can't provide the programs and do a good job of running them. The Park District, in the meantime, when I brought those two parties together, has offered to take over all those programs,
Right.
to run those programs, to take them over so the
Possibility.
DYC would not have to do it anymore. You know, when the DYC was developed, oh my goodness, how many years? 40 years, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah,
It's been a
it is.
long time.
Yeah.
My kids
I
were
mean,
in it.
they stepped in.
50.
It's been, that's right.
Last year
They
was-
just had 50, that's
Last-
right.
It's 51 now, because last year was 50.
50.
And they ended up
Yeah.
canceling the celebration.
They were going to do a celebration, they couldn't pull that together. But the issue is that the DY stepped in 51 years ago because the Park District didn't.
Right.
And a lot of wonderful parents have been involved in that program for 51 years. Now that things are changing, parents are not getting involved like they used to. The Park District offered to step in and take over all the programs, possibly let the DYC just run the traveling program because they do a good job of that. And that's where it stands.
Right.
And I think Ray can speak to what's going on at the Park District
I've
side.
got experience on both sides since I
Yes.
was DYC president for 4 years, and baseball commissioner, and soccer, coached everything, been involved for 15 years. Mayor Weaver got us together with DYC's board, which was like our third meeting, because we had 2 meetings prior to that. And we offered a timeline over the course of 2 years to take the programs over, with DYC's help for the first year or two, so that the programs would be as good, if not better, than they had been. Some board members were reluctant to make that decision because there were elections coming up. And then after the elections, they talked about it again. I attended a DYC meeting. Rob Sirocco, one of our other commissioners who was president of DYC after me, he attends most of their meetings, and we've offered to keep the dialogue going on the big issues, as well as helping out on smaller issues. I believe David Letterman's is going, Leatherwood? David, if I got your name wrong, I apologize.
I think that was
Not the television personality, yeah.
Leatherwood
Leatherwood.
is his name.
that was
I know
one of the
he's been in-
individuals that came and talked to us.
Yeah.
Leatherwood? He's
Yeah.
a new board member
Yeah,
then.
he's been in contact with Stephanie. In fact, today she got about 20 emails from him about different issues, and I suggested that we have a sit-down meeting, Stephanie,
Good.
myself, and
Good,
David,
yeah.
and just kind of work through the issues. Regarding fields, when I was president of DYC, we all have to share all the fields because there just isn't enough open space. So DYC's had a wonderful relationship with 61 forever, with 63, 66, 86, and I think the only school district that DYC really doesn't get involved in is 99, simply because they're in Downers, physically located in Downers. But we've had, you have to cooperate, you have to collaborate, and like you said, you got to put the egos on the side.
That's right.
And if you just have to share, and you just got, because in addition to DYC now, we've got 4 or 5 traveling baseball organizations. We used to just have the Darien Baseball Association, and now we've got, there's travel teams out of Perfect Swing, there's travel teams with the Swarm, and there's other ones besides that. And last year or the year before, the Willowbrook Burr Ridge Little League expanded their boundaries to include Darien. So, there are some Darien residents who have their kids play Little League, which are different rules than DYC's Pony League rules.
Gotcha.
So it's diffused. DYC has had forever, even when I was president, we had issues with volunteers, but we had some really dedicated people that went out and recruited people to help. And it's a shame that the programs have seen fewer participants and fewer volunteers step up. But Mayor Weaver's been willing to help, have the city help. The Park District is willing to help. 61, 63, we're all in this together. So I think the new board, once they get sworn in at their next meeting, if they ask for help or just come and talk to us at the Park District and anybody else, we'll be more than willing to help out.
Yeah, yeah. So you got the history.
I'm familiar with most of it.
Yeah, that's there's been a lot of effort on behalf of DYC.
You know, you only hear one side of a story, and that's true about the public too. They don't hear the whole thing. And if we were to go ahead and through negotiations or get people together and have somebody, whether you spearheaded or somebody or other organization spearheaded.
Got it. Got it.
At any rate, if now we have a committee here, the Intergovernmental, and if we report this on TV as to what's going on and publicize this, that this is what we're working on for the better of Darien, I think we'll be positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it'll finally put this thing to an end and force us either to put our money where our mouth is, but at least keep in mind that we're trying to go ahead and service the community
Right.
Yeah.
and get the community held responsible for what it does and us being held accountable for what we do. And I think that would be positive as can be. And that was my whole thrust tonight, was to bring it to the willingness of the people that would, yeah, we've done this in the past, 3 years ago or whatever. Wipe the slate clean. Here's where you are. You got new officers. Let's see what it is. And then publicize what we're doing and not just in a quiet meeting somewhere and saying, well, we've had enough of this, you know. I'd love to see us do that.
Ray, does the DYC have a website?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
It's not quite up, by the way. I don't believe. I think she's working on
Yeah,
that right now.
they
It is
were-
up?
It's up. Because
Or
you can register online.
Or maybe
and-
you're suggesting they're doing some improvements to it? Is that what you're suggesting?
Setting first, let's just talk and see what's on the table here, and then and let the public know what's on the table.
What I'm saying is they're going to get, the new officers are going to get sworn in, and they
New
possibly.
officers, the results of their election are on their website. So
I'm
we-
saying
we-
they should announce what happens in these meetings so the public can look at that website and find out, as we're discussing here, for the public to see.
The big thing is, let's publicize it and know that we're making these efforts for the community, and give some credence to this intergovernmental agencies here, working for the community.
I think you know now how much each of
Okay.
us have put out. All of us
I'm sure we
have
have.
done.
The public may not know all this.
That's true.
And I think
That's
it's
very
time
true.
that the public finds out this is not just whistling Dixie here.
You're right.
Okay, that's all.
Yep, the youth of our community is very important, and we want to keep them in Darien, active in Darien
Okay.
in sports. So, yes, very much so. Anything else on that subject? Let's move. Bob Rositko, you wanted to have the crossing guards on the agenda this evening.
Yeah, I was watching this. Well, I attended the police committee meeting, and there was discussion with the committee members, and it was positive to maintaining crossing guards. And then I saw I don't remember which council meeting on TV, and comments about fairness were brought up, I think by you.
Oh, that was me.
And that kind of took me back, because it's not about fairness. It's about public safety. And in my estimation, every school district in Darien should have crossing guards.
They do.
Provided by the city. City is responsible for public safety. The main responsibility of the city is public safety of the citizens. And to say that it's unfair for 61 to have those crossing guards when 66 doesn't, well, 66 doesn't need them because they're fully bused, 100% bust.
And District 61 used to be fully bused,
Right,
and you cut back.
right. We had to, or else there wouldn't be a 61. And, Halil, you were around for that, I think.
But then you put on the big extension to your building and everything the year after.
That was consolidation to save money.
Well, you get where I'm flowing here.
I
You cut
guess.
bus service, but then you built a big facility.
But we didn't, we put additions on the facility to consolidate. We sold the school. Okay, so that was what that was about. Consolidation was about saving money. And we are still busing. We're busing 1.5 miles. My kids lost busing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to have this discussion about not having crossing guards in equity, I think is it doesn't make sense. And
Well,
you
Bob,
look at
my point was that you're the ones that cut the busing. and now children within a mile and a half walk.
Even with busing, Mayor.
But-
even with busing, when we were busing, there
But
were
those
still
children,
kids walking.
those
Across Cass
those children now those children are walking. Well, when you made that cutback, were you concerned about public
Absolutely.
safety?
Absolutely, but what's the
And why aren't you busing all your children?
Because we can't afford it. And the state has cut back on our busing the last 2 years significantly. We're still busing kids from all over the community, including Our Lady of Peace.
You know,
Okay.
and I believe we had the discretion of adding points to some of
Right.
our intersections to make it a hazardous
safety
intersection.
zones.
And we did that. So,
But
Well,
for-
now this is this is in the budget, and we're going to be talking about this at the
Absolutely.
budget.
That's why I want to bring it up, because at the police committee meeting, there seemed to be support for it. And we're not talking crazy amounts of money here. My concern is the police perspective in this whole thing. I understand getting more police on the street. I do understand that. And it's tied in with DARE also, to have rotating police. And whether it's DARE or not, I don't really care. I mean, some kind of program is important.
Something that's effective.
Something that's
Yeah.
effective. But the whole perspective seems to be putting more police on the street, which is fine, which is great. But that seems to me secondary to the safety of the kids in a situation like this.
Well, you know how it came up in the first place. It's a scheduling nightmare for our police department with all these people.
I get it.
That's what started this whole issue. So then the committee was talking about hiring Andy Frayne, an outside service, to do this. That's what started the conversation. Yeah.
Andy Frane's service, being involved in this, is somewhere in the area of $23,000-$25,000.
I think it's only 13.
Okay, that's even better.
Okay, remember they cut hours on it?
That's even better.
Put it down.
But, I mean, when you talk about $13,000 in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about giving accommodations to the businesses to keep them, accommodations to the barbecue place to keep them, I mean, the accommodations that were given to the barbecue place, you could fund crossing guards at $13,000 for 50 years.
Well, now, I think that goes to my whole issue is, you guys cut busing service, so obviously, were you that concerned about the public safety of your children?
Our business is not public safety, Mayor. Our business is education.
Let me say the safety of your children getting to school safely.
We're concerned about the
All right,
safety of our
so
children. But part of that package was that the crossing guards were there. Crossing guards have been provided to the district for at least 15 years that I know of.
Oh, it's got to be longer than
Maybe
that.
more.
It's gotta
think
be-
it's
At
yes,
least
it's
15
been
years
much
that
longer
I
than
know, because
that.
I've been living in town for 17 years.
Yeah, so we're going to be having this discussion at the budget, too.
Okay.
Okay?
Maybe I should be there.
I think so.
Because this is a sore point. I mean, this is a sore point for me personally. To make it an issue of fairness.
Well, District 63 provides their own. District 66 buses all their children, so they don't need,
So the fact that they don't want it or they don't have it means
they have their own.
Okay, it means that because we have it now, you can cut it and it's okay. Talk about making it public. We're making it public. What is the issue, right? What is the issue? What is the bottom line issue here? Is it public safety? Is it money? What is it?
But as I keep saying, if you were concerned about the safety of your children, you would be busing them all. So now it falls on, we're the ones that are the bad guys by not
because you
provide.
have been providing it forever. And what is the reason why you would not want to provide it now?
That is something we'll discuss at that budget meeting, okay?
It comes down to-
You've heard my reasoning why.
If it
I
comes down
think
to tax dollars, it's the same pot of tax dollars, Mayor. Same citizens are being taxed by the city, by the school districts. It's the same pot of money. It's everybody's same pot of money, right? So no matter who pays for it, it's the same people paying the money to fund it.
so. $13,000 will break you if you have to pay for it.
$13,000 will make a difference in some spot. It sure will hurt us more in our maybe $15 million a year budget than it will the city.
You have a $15 million budget?
Yes, we do.
Wow, you have a bigger budget than we do.
Okay.
We're $13 million.
We probably have more employees.
I forgot how many I was told. I think we're 80. I think we're 85 employees. That's all departments.
Yeah, we probably have, what, 200? There it is. And 80% of our budget is employees' salaries.
Same with us.
And benefits.
Yes, after our employees, taking care of the city infrastructure is where all of our money goes.
Absolutely, I know that.
So,
So this is a concern.
The importance of this conversation is it is brought to the public.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of that. I love this, whether we agree or don't agree. The point is that we're concerned. And right or wrong is not the issue. The point is there is an issue. And we can work on it. And if the public doesn't know what's going on, and they don't, I don't know how you can't force them to watch your Channel 6.
well, we keep picking up people on Direct Connect, which is a really valuable tool that we have of getting information out. Every Friday, you get an email from us if you're signed up with us, and that has become a very important tool.
You put it out that we're concerned about crossing guards and the safety of the children in this town. You'll have more people wanting to watch this than the snowball and whatever the phrase is.
You keep coming up with phrases.
Well,
that we
I
have
certainly
to,
can't
we're
come
try-
up with
we're trying to
I
guess.
can't come up with conclusions.
Don't start if you can't finish them.
No, but really and truthfully, and the fact that we're taking a look at the Darien Youth Club and the Park District and getting them to work together, something you haven't heard of for 3 years. Not the public.
The public hasn't heard.
What you have
That's-
done behind the scenes, let's let people know that we're working for this, and everyone's excited about it. I just that would get us all involved, and that would get the whole community moving in the same direction, because we all care,
We certainly do.
and that's the beauty of this.
I think there's a difference of opinion on that topic among the council members, as you
Also,
probably
yeah.
noticed
Yeah.
that during that discussion, and I'm sure it will come out during the budget meeting.
Yeah.
I happen to disagree with the mayor, and I'm more of the opinion that you have, but I'm only one of 7, so we'll see
We'll
how
see.
that turns
Yeah,
out.
the crossing guards is in the budget, and so it'll be a topic of discussion for our budget meetings. And our first budget meeting is February 26th.
No, actually, it's February 20th.
I thought you said the 26th earlier.
26th, the second one. The first one is on the 20th.
Yep, it's the 20th. The 20th is our first budget meeting. So, pardon?
No, I said that's what you had said, because didn't you say that there was a budget meeting the same night?
We have more than one session for budget meetings. Usually we go to at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4. Our first budget meeting is on February 20th, and the second one is February 26th.
Yeah, as things got tighter over the years, the number of budget meetings got lesser and lesser. It didn't take too long to go through the budget, so we might, we'll for sure have 2 meetings.
Yeah, I don't think it will be done in one meeting.
No,
It'll be
no.
a miracle if we do.
Yeah.
My own edification, and this is going to back when my kids, 30 years ago. But I remember the busing, that the schools really could not pick up students within the first so many feet of the school. They had to walk because they weren't going to have them. And the district had enough money that they said, well, it's easier to pick them all up instead of do that. But by rights, if you look back at the regs, I don't know whether we can bus everybody.
I have no idea.
So, I mean, there's a lot more to this than just where you are.
I think it has to do with what type of school district you are.
This
There's
is the
different
high school
regulations.
district that I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Well, that would be a different.
And there would be a difference, a big
Regulation.
difference.
Can I say I've been quiet on this subject. I just want to make clear the reason I've been quiet on the subject is I just am not aware. I don't have the knowledge of what's going on within 63. I know there's a time we did take advantage of crossing guard provided by the city. At least I think so. I can't speak for our administration on this whole topic, just because I don't want to say something and misrepresent. Okay, It is of course of interest to our district, but I just don't have the background knowledge, so I've just keep my mouth shut.
No problem. And I guess Dr. Arnold could not make it, but we will certainly invite him to other meetings to hear from District 66. Anything else on that subject? Okay. Any other subject matters anybody wanted to discuss this evening? Let's set a new meeting date.
What's the plan for getting the information out to the public about what we've discussed tonight so we can get their interest in this committee meeting?
This meeting will be televised for, you know what? I don't know how often it's televised. will be on our Channel 6. So people can tune in to see what happened at this meeting. Maybe Art will be able to tell us after this meeting how often it's on. But we do have a schedule of our programming on television, on Channel 6 anyway.
Darien Connect.
You know, one of the things we can do is we send out board briefs to our parents. We can list the next meeting there.
Good idea. I think we should, for
you
which
have a
group
similar-
are we talking about? Are we talking about,
For this meeting.
for this meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a similar?
Oh, yeah.
mechanism?
You,
Yeah, we have-
on your website, you
We have
can,
our note totes that go out weekly, so we could include something.
Not just the
Obviously-
date, not just the date,
He
but
wants
what
the
we will be
information,
talking
what-
about, crossing guards and et cetera, to get their interest in it.
wait a minute, now, I'm thinking two different things. Are
Mm-hmm.
you talking about publishing the agenda of this meeting, or are you talking about having some sort of little paragraph about what occurred?
Take your choice. Just the
Well, the
point-
agenda is what you see
Yeah.
here.
Right, and that's got to be approved before you can really publish it to anybody. I don't know how you do, it has to be 2 weeks out and all that stuff. But
No.
what we talked about tonight is not in the minutes, but this is going to be brought up at the next meeting, that's all.
Well, you know, looking at the agenda, I'd suggest that it be a paragraph written up because
It would be more
something like
informative.
increasing public safety awareness is just not
No,
going to mean something
Right.
to, it's just a topic, yeah.
okay.
Just as I know you do the board briefs, and I think, and 86 does the board briefs, maybe for Darien Connect, for Direct Connect, a summary of what was discussed at this meeting would be included in there.
Okay.
I mean, because as I'm thinking about the timing, if you're having your finance committee meetings, your budget meetings or whatever in February, next time we meet will be
It's in
after
April.
the fact.
Yeah, we'd have to put that.
It'll be
on
too
there
late
sooner.
for people that are interested in this issue.
The intent is we're trying to create interest,
Right.
to at least start
Right.
to take a look.
So in the school communication and in the Direct Connect, if you're doing a summary of what was discussed, then people know, okay, this is an ongoing issue, and if I'm interested, here's how I voice
Okay.
my opinion.
That would be easy to do. Okay. Okay, next meeting. We probably, let's see, the last one was November. 3 months?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we want to go much longer than that because we gotta make sure we stay on top of the town hall meeting and making sure we're all prepared for that. So,
I think this
May?
first Tuesday, May 7th.
okay. It is May 7th. Good for everybody? Well, I mean, that's the meeting, the day of the month that we all are free from our other organizations' meetings. Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. So if there's nothing else to discuss, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn. Alderman,
Second.
listen to me, I'm still in Alderman mode. Bob Klein, seconded by Rich Brandeis. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming and joining in tonight. What? No, I was just thinking about, I have had,
I love it when you're hurting.
this is the third time I've had plumbing problems. I'm in the Woodlands.